Question 2 in Unit 15 talks about a stock that rises 5% each year and also pays a dividend of 3%. Here's the price of the stock. It increases each year at 5%, and we'll be following it over a period of 10 years. The stock price increases in the usual way, each year rising by 5%. Now let's talk about the dividend. As a stockholder, we own a portion of the company. If the company makes money, it can use the money to buy new equipment for the company, expand the company, or it can pay out the profits to the owners. Dividends are a way of paying profits to owners. Notice that they don't affect the stock price. It's simply a way for the company to share with the owners some of the money that the company has earned. So in this particular case, the company chooses to send out to each of the owners 3% of the share price. The first year, at the end of the year, we receive a check for 3% of $1,050. That's $31.50. Each year, at the end of the year, we get a check, and the check we get is more and more because the stock price has risen over the years. We're about to analyze this as an investment, and as usual, we'll be asking about the cash flows. What were our cash flows in the case of this investment? At the beginning, we put $1,000 into the investment. The next year, we got $31.50 out. That was $31.50 from the investment to us. The next year, $33.08 back to us, and so on for 10 years. At the end of 10 years, we get $48.87 back from our investment. And after all those 10 years, the investment itself is still worth $16.29. Our question, as usual, is what sort of savings account, a savings account paying what percent, would give us exactly the same cash flows? So here's a savings account, and we'll give it an arbitrary interest rate of 6%. Here we've started out with the same cash flows as with the stock investment. $1,000 in, $1,000 in. At the end of 1 year, this investment, the stock investment, gives us a return of $31.50. If we're going to get a return of $31.50 from a savings account, if there's going to be money from the investment, the savings account, into our pockets, it will have to be a withdrawal from the savings account. So here's how much money would be in the savings account at the end of 1 year. The $1,000, the interest earned on that money, and then we would take out $31.50. Notice that so far the cash flows are exactly the same. $1,000 in, $31.50 out. If we continue this way, Excel adjusts so that in each case the amount subtracted is the amount of the dividend for that year. So here we have a savings account in which the cash flows are just the same as with the stock investment. $1,000 in, and each of these amounts out per year. But the value of the end investment here is $16.29, while here it's only $12.80.70. To correct that, we'll use goal seek. We'd like the final amount to be $16.29, and we'll get it by changing the percentage interest earned. Now we have a savings account that precisely matches all of the cash flows of the stock investment. $1,000 in, these amounts out at the end of each year, and a final investment value of this amount. We can tell that the internal rate of return here was 8.15%.